I'm Brenda Caldwell, aka Dr. B. Welcome to the Hope Zone, moving you from a place of hopelessness and brokenness to a place of healing and wholeness, a place where hope is alive to bring you more peace, more joy, more freedom, and more understanding of your God-given purpose. Let's enter the Hope Zone. Hi, and welcome into another edition of the Hope Zone with me, Brenda Caldwell, aka Dr. B. Oh my, you're gonna love today's episode. I just believe it. Episode 59. Oh my. 7 ways. We're talking today about 7 ways to maximize your dash. Oh my. I said it. 7 ways to maximize your dash. What are we talking about the dash? I'm going to read a special poem to you by Linda Ellis, who coined this amazing anointed poem, I believe, back in 1996. And it just went global. I mean, it became a phenomenon. It was just so eloquently read. So I'm going to be sharing with you that poem called The Dash. And we're going to talk about what is the dash. I think the poem will certainly break it down. And then we're going to share 7 ways to maximize your dash. I'm here to tell you, you're in the right place at the right time with the right vessel. Dr. B, it's about to go down. Come on. We're talking about 7 ways to maximize our dash. You're going to want to share this episode with somebody. I'm telling you, who's your friend? Come on now. Who's your cousin? Who is your cousin? Who is your sister? You're going to want to share this with those that you love, because this is really about encouraging us to make the most of our lives every single day. So we're talking about maximizing our dash. What does it really mean? It really means living your life. You're living your daily life with such intentional effort to make every day count by doing what? By impacting someone else's life for the good in some kind of way, impacting other people's lives for the good, letting our light so shine. Come on, being able to be imitators of Christ. You look at it all kinds of ways. You can look at it all kinds of ways, but the truth of the matter is that we're talking about how to maximize that dash. As we get to the dash, the key is being intentional. The key is being intentional. What does intentional mean? Intentional means living or doing something, I should say, on purpose. When you do things on purpose, that's intentional. When you do things deliberately, that is intentional. Intentional can go both ways. It can be both negative and it can be positive. We're talking about the positive word of intentional, how to do things in purpose, with a spirit of purpose, how to do things deliberately. In other words, how to live your life, come on now, with purpose, how to live your life intentionally, deliberately, in such a way that you are able to fulfill your dash. Your dash. Here's an important question I want to ask you before I bring the dash to you. How old are you? Just a simple question. How old are you? How old are you? You know, you're my one. I do this podcast for the one, and the ones, you are my one. Yes, as my one today, wherever you're listening to me from, I'm asking you this question. How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? Well, before you try to send me a message through my website, or text me, or however way you try to get in touch with me, I just want to tell you this. I have the answer. You don't know how old you are. You don't know. All you know is your age. The world conditions us to respond with a number. When people ask us how old we are, that's what we say. I'm 58. I'm 75, I'm 33. We give a number because that's how we have been basically reared, conditioned in our society to give a chronological age, a chronological number. No, that's not what I mean by how old you are. The truth of the matter is that no one knows how old you are. You don't know how old you are. Let me break it down. I shared this before on the podcast, but in case you didn't catch it last time, maybe you'll catch it this time. And that simply is this: you can take two people. If someone is 35 years old and another person is 55 years old, who is the oldest between those people? Those two individuals. The person who's 35, let's say that person is going to be dead at 42. They're going to actually pass away at 42. The person who is 55 is not going to pass away until 80, until 80, until 80 years old. That means, listen to me, listen to it good now, listen clearly. The person who is the oldest is the person who has not lived the longest, but the person who has the least amount of time left. That is the person who is the oldest. The person who's 35, who's going to pass away at 42, only has 7 years left. The person who's 55, but is going to live to be 80, has 25 years left. So they're pretty young. They got 25 more years left. They're younger than the person who only has 7 years left. Why am I saying this to you? Because every day that we live, we need to live intentional, live with purpose, and live deliberately in such a way that on our final day of being remembered and recognized for our impact in the world, on the earth, or within our sphere of influence with our family members and friends and those who know us, there's something to talk about called the dash. The dash. And so I'm going to share those 7 ways that you can maximize your dash. Let's go to the poem first. I pray that this topic, this podcast ignites you, inspires you, stirs something up in you to realize that you want to maximize your time left that you have because you don't know how much time you have. That is the thing. None of us know how much time we have left, and we keep procrastinating. We keep putting things off that we could be doing today, because if we really did that, life would be much more fulfilled. Life would be much more meaningful. Life would have so much more purpose, and we really wouldn't be sweating. Come on, somebody, the small stuff. Are you with me? So let's go to the dash. Here's the dash poem by Linda Ellis. It says, I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from beginning to end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most was all the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved them knew what little time, what knew rather. Let me say that again. For that dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the cash, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. Come on now. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that still can be rearranged. To be less quick, oh my God, come on, come on, come on, to be less quick to anger and show appreciation more and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. if we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a while. So when your eulogy is being read, when your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash? Oh my, what a question. Whenever I've read this poem, it always humbles me and it always convicts me and it always stirs me up on the inside. Every time I go to a funeral, of course, this poem is not read, but it in essence reminds me of this poem, The Dash by Linda Ellis. The Dash. What a poignant way, profound way, and powerful way to remind us all of how short and fragile and delicate our life is. Our lifespan on earth is but a brief moment, but our legacy left can be absolutely a lifetime. It can, it can outlive us, just like Linda Ellis's poem. I don't know whether she's still alive with us or not, but I know that her poem will certainly outlive her because this is ageless. This is truly timeless. And it's a humbling reminder to us all to focus on our dash. Focus on how are we really living our dash? How are you living that time span between your being born and your passing away? We all have a expiration date and none of us know when. Recently in last month, we in the Christian faith community um, mourned the loss of Mandisa. Mandisa, amazing anointed Christian singer who was once on American Idol, but poured her life into singing for God's glory. I mean, just at every opportunity, she talked about her struggles, those various personal struggles that she had with depression and so forth. She put herself out. And her doing that, she had thousands upon thousands upon thousands of followers and people who admired her vulnerability, her transparency, her openness, her humility to put her life out there to be able to help somebody else who may have been struggling. It is just amazing how we can make even those things that are hard and difficult and vulnerable in our lives matter and serve purpose. So Mandisa, God bless her and rest her soul in there. And of what I read about her, just it was just a running theme that she was kind. She was a person that was full of kindness. Wow. Talk about a legacy. Talk about a eulogy. When you live out and your eulogy in such a way that everybody says the same thing, that is just absolutely beautiful. That's how we should live our lives. So Mandisa only lived on the earth 47 years, and from what I understand, she had a very, very, very special final post, and some of it I take a look at, and she talked about some things about just embracing herself and the need to just wear her natural hair like mine, and just being able to embrace and love who she is and how we should love who we are and how God created us and designed us. And what a way to go out, Mandisa. What a way to be able to make even your final days matter and count and maximize your dash. To God be the glory for your 47 years on planet Earth. And we know that we'll see you in eternity. And no, more than likely, you'll be singing for Jesus, singing to the glory of God, because you were certainly one gifted soul on this planet. But Mandisa maximized the time that she had. She maximized her dash. That's what we all need to be looking at. Are we maximizing our dash? So let me give you 7 ways that you can begin living your life in such a way to maximize your dash. The first thing you want to do, number one, is you want to evaluate your daily routine. Think about how you spend your habits. Think about what are your habits. What are those things that you do on a daily basis or within a week's time that could be impacting somebody else's life? Do you maximize your time watching television? Is your free time when you get off TV, get off work and come home? It's about, playing some Game Boy, some looking at something on social media, just all these entrapments, all these thieves, if you will, that we have around us, searching, scrolling on our cell phone, just scrolling on the phone, just doing these things that really are mindless and just to be honest, boils down to being a big waste of time. It really does. So think about and begin to evaluate your daily routine and see if you can find some ways in every day to help somebody in the smallest of ways, in the smallest of ways, making an impact in somebody's life. So that at the end of every night, you can ask the question, who did I help today? How did my life count today? How did I maximize my dash today? If today was my last day, wow, what would be said? What would I want somebody to say? Let me tell you, that kind of intentional, remember, we're talking about intentional, that kind of intentional, deliberate focus is going to enrich your dash and make your eulogy very, very, very easy to deliver. In fact, you will have already delivered your own eulogy. That's what Dr. Martin Luther King did. Dr. Martin Luther King basically, he lived his eulogy and he actually recorded his own eulogy and it was played at his funeral. And it said some things in effect, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can show somebody he's traveling wrong. I'm not going to really try to get too deep in imitating Dr. King, but I have on occasion done so. But he's saying, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can show somebody he's traveling wrong, if I can help somebody, cheer somebody with even a word or song, Dr. King said, then my living would not be in vain. It's so important that we realize every single day could be our last day. Evaluate how are you spending it. Maybe there are some habits that you can remove so you can free up more time to do just that. Touch a life in the smallest way. Get your cell phone out and go through your phone and look up people that may need a word of encouragement, maybe sending some text messages. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed how you can pull somebody out of a slump of hopelessness, depression, sadness, loneliness, just feeling rejected. You just never know what a short text, what a short email, what a short phone call. Come on, don't forget just the phone call. Those kinds of simple things can make all the difference in the world. That's maximizing your dash. Here's number 2. Look for opportunities intentionally to reflect Christ at the grocery store, shopping center, bank, and etc. I'm telling you, look for these opportunities to intentionally reflect Christ. There's so many ways. You can strike up a conversation with somebody at the grocery store. You can literally pay for somebody's groceries. It doesn't have to be. I mean, look for somebody, if you don't have a lot of money, look for somebody that's buying 3 or 4 items. I do it all the time. You trip people out. You just do. You just do when you do these small little acts of kindness. Just small acts of kindness, holding the door for somebody, smiling at somebody, going through a day saying, I'm going to smile at every single person I come in contact with. Okay. I'm going to literally say, how are you doing? How are you doing? And listen to what they say. Are you with me? If somebody say, how are you doing? You say, oh, better now that I've spoken to you. Better now that I've crossed your path. Wow. Well, you don't want to say something that can sound flirtatious. Okay. Let's be real about that. Okay. You may have a problem on your hand, but what I'm simply saying is being intentional in these small ways, looking for opportunities to reflect Christ in just the smallest ways. You'd be amazed how people remember you. People show up at people's funerals and bring up things that deceased person would never think that they remember 25 years later. But it is true. People remember how you made them feel. People remember that more than what you said, but a lot of times people do remember what you said because what you said could have impacted their lives for the better, for the good, to have inspired them in such a way that helped them to go back to school, help them to, start a business. The list goes on and on and on, but it's about how are you choosing every single day to maximize your dash. That time that you have left, that time between your birth and your death, that's a dash. How are you going to maximize it? Number 3 says, invest intentional. There's a word again, intentional. I love that song by Travis Green. He's intentional. He's intentional. God was intentional in how he designed you. Yes, he did. He was. God's an intentional God. He designed you intentionally with gifts and talents and a smile and a physicality that is intended to make a difference and an impact in the world in your own special way. Number 3 says, invest intentional time showing family and friends just how much you love them. Don't don't wait until somebody dies and get up at the funeral and talk about how much you love them, how much they meant to you. They can't hear one word. They just can't. It's so important. James Cleveland, a former gospel artist from years and years back, coined that song about if I've ever done anything for you, he says, give me my roses while I can still smell them. Give me my roses now. So give people their roses, give people honor, give people the gifts, buy the little small things, give people words of love and encouragement. Do it now and do it for those that you do love. Do it for those that you do love. I remember years ago, I got very convicted. My brother passed away back in 1998, and it was a sudden car crash. I was out of town when he passed. I came home to the news, and I just instantly felt hurt and pain and sorrow, but I also felt guilt because I realized that I had never told my own brother that I loved him. Just being real. I didn't. I just assumed he knew, but I didn't. I didn't tell him that I loved him. James, I love you. I didn't tell him that. But at his funeral, me being a writer, got up and wrote a beautiful poem, and it was really beautiful. It was about his life, but in the natural, he wasn't there. So he in the natural, he couldn't hear those words. Don't wait too late. Don't wait too late. Don't ever forget family and friends and those who've had an impact on your life. Be intentional to show them that love, that ways that you love them and care about them. Number 4 says, create a slogan. I love this one. Create a slogan to live by. I have a slogan. As you can see behind me, you can see part of the slogan. Hope is what I give, and hope is why I live. That's a slogan that I have. It's one that God gave me. Hope. It's what I give, and it's why I live. What's your slogan? Your slogan can be whatever you want it to be, but your slogan needs to be something that reminds you of your dash. Every day I want to live. Every day that I live, I want to give hope. Every single day in some kind of way through my counseling clients I have, through my speaking engagements, whenever I create my sculpted art pieces, when I am just encouraging my friends, however way, I just want to truly live my life in such a way that I'm bringing hope to somebody. For real, for real, for real. I wear apparel. If you ever follow me for a week, you'll see several times a week, I wear clothing that has messages of hope on it, messages of forgiveness on it, messages of encouragement, but truly around the theme of hope. What's your slogan? Create a slogan. Come on, create a slogan to live by. Number 5, oh my, drop the mic once more and again. Forgive others quickly. Just if you want to maximize your dash, forgive people quickly. Don't harbor hate, anger, unforgiveness. You don't have time for that. When you're living your life deliberately and intentionally to maximize the time that you have on earth, you just don't have time to be mad at folk. You just don't have time to be carrying grudges. You just don't have the time. You're just not going to waste time and energy. Come on, somebody, in unforgiveness and resentment and bitterness. So listen, make a decision, forgive people quickly. Just tell yourself, I forgive quickly. You know what? I have a magnanimous heart. The magnanimous heart is a person who has a magnanimous heart is a person who is generous to forgive anyone for anything, no matter what. That's a person who is freed from pettiness. A person with a magnanimous heart is free to let stuff go. Be that kind of person. I promise you, you will maximize your dash. Number 6 says, avoid watching negativity, listening to negativity. Avoid negativity. I'm telling you, that's a way that can just steal your joy, your peace, and it also steals your focus. It steals your sense of purposeness. It will steal your dash. I'm telling you, if you get caught up in just watching the news and watching everything on social media and watching all this negativity that we see in the world, that stuff begins to taint your spirit. It's like just draining your battery, and you'll find yourself not even thinking about making a difference in somebody's life. You won't be thinking about that. You'll be thinking about how bad crime is nationwide. You'll be thinking about how terrible, the world is. And it is bad things happening, and we know that. But you still have a dash to live. Come on, somebody. You still have somebody depending on you to be in your dash, living out your dash, living your life with intentional purpose and deliberately making a difference. We still need our dash. The world still needs your dash. Come on, somebody. The world needs your dash more than it needs your cash. Come on, somebody. I may put a line to Linda Ellis's poem. Nah, I think not. I think it's already perfect. Come on, come on. But the world doesn't need our cash. The world needs our dash. Come on. Number 7, we're going to close out with this one. Do a challenge daily to ask yourself, did I show God's love to somebody? Did I show God's love to somebody today? At the end of every day, you can ask yourself that question. How did I show God's love today? Did I show God's love to somebody? How did I show mercy to somebody today? In other words, if you're going to maximize your dash, think about, how did I let today matter, count? What difference did I make today? When people ask you how much you make, you need to say, I make a difference. How much do you make? Hey, for real though, did you get that? Did you hear that? Focus on making a difference. Focus on making a difference every single day. Are you with me? I want you to get this and understand that these are 7 ways. There are 8, there are 9, there are 10, there are 20. There are so many more ways, but I just wanted to give you a list that you can start with in terms of thinking about how to maximize your dash so that one day, and we pray it's a long time to come, but whenever your appointed time comes to be laid to rest and to be remembered and to be eulogized and to be celebrated, we can honestly talk about your dash in such a way that everybody is saying the same thing. That's when you know you have lived your dash. Just like there was a unifying theme regarding the life of Mandisa, the Christian singer, in the same way. What would be the theme of your life when you have spent your dash? What are they going to say? Live your life now so that you can influence what people say at that appointed day. Well, that is today's episode number 59. Come on, we are rolling like a freight train. I'm giving God glory. And if you want to continue to get this podcast, just subscribe to the podcast. We upload every single Monday a fresh dose of hope from the Hope Zone. I would love for you to share this podcast with somebody that you love, somebody that you think is special in your life and would love to also be encouraged to live out their dash. Come on, somebody, while they have time just like you. Well, until next time, let me say, if you want to know more about the works of Dr. B, go to my website at drbempowers.com. Go to my website, drbempowers.com. There you will see I have a campaign called Suicide is Not an Option. I want to maximize my dash by snatching as many people out of the spirit of suicide as possible. You can certainly help me and support this cause, this assignment that God has given to me for the year. I would greatly appreciate it at drbempowers.com. Well, until next time, I always say in a world that's full of darkness, there's always a reason to have hope. So you know what I want you to do? I want you to hold on to hope like it's a piece of rope. Until next time. I'm so glad you made it to the end of the podcast. If the Hope Zone is making a positive difference in your life, please subscribe to the show so you don't miss the next episode. Leave a review, and most of all, share it with your friends. And remember, from your worst day to your best day, there's hope in every situation.